You don't know what day it is. That's the first thing they take from you. Not your phone, not your freedom. Time. And right now, somewhere behind that rusted door, a man is deciding whether you leave this place in a car or in pieces. The question isn't whether you can escape. The question is, why haven't they killed you yet? Your name used to mean something in Culiacan, not power. Nothing like that. You ran deliveries for a produce company. 18 months. Same route, every Tuesday. The specific, stupid detail that got you here. You took a wrong turn on March 4th, down a road that wasn't on any map, and you saw something parked behind a warehouse that you were never supposed to see. You didn't stop. You didn't even slow down, but someone wrote down your plates. 3 weeks later, they were waiting inside your apartment, not outside. Inside, sitting at your kitchen table, eating the leftovers you'd packed for lunch. And the man with the gray streak in his beard looked up at you like you were the one who'd walked into the wrong house. He said, "Close the door." So you did. That's the part you keep replaying. Not the weeks that followed. Not the things they made you watch. Just the door clicking shut. Just you, choosing to close it. They gave you a job because bodies are expensive and labor is cheap. You counted money in a back room. You logged numbers into a ledger that didn't use names. Only colors. You didn't ask what the colors meant. Red came up. A lot. The other counter, a kid named Tomás. Down 19, maybe. Acne still on his jaw. Told you on your second week. Don't think of an exit. That's how you get slow. Slow gets you noticed. You thought he was scared. You didn't realize he'd already tried to leave once. By month 2, you knew 3 things that could end you. You knew the name of the man who controlled the northern corridor. You knew which federals were paid and which weren't. And you knew that the ledger you'd been keeping for 8 weeks was evidence that, in the wrong hands, could dismantle something worth $300 million. That's when you understood why they hadn't killed you. You weren't labor. You were liability management. As long as you were inside the operation, you were a sealed room. The moment you stepped out, you became a leak. There was no exit. Because you were already the exit they were preventing. That realization hits you like cold water on a burn. It changes the shape of everything. Every small kindness they showed you. Every time they left you alone for an hour. It wasn't trust. It was calculation. And now, 3 days ago, something changed. Tomás disappeared between dinner and midnight. No announcement. His cut was stripped by morning, and the man with the gray beard started looking at you differently, not with suspicion, with consideration, like a number being moved from one column to another. You had 72 hours to build a plan from nothing. No phone, no weapon, no ally you could trust completely. What you had, a twice-daily walk to a second building to use the bathroom. 30 seconds each direction where you passed within 8 meters of an exterior wall. A loose hinge on a ventilation panel you'd noticed in week 3 and never mentioned. And one guard, a younger one, 20-something, who hummed the same song every night between 11 and midnight, who occasionally forgot to relock the interior gate. You didn't know if the plan was good. You knew it was the only one. The night you move, your mouth tastes like copper before you even stand up. Your body already knows what your mind is still arguing with. You wait for the humming. It starts at 11:14. You count his footsteps until they fade 17 seconds of clear movement. The panel gives on the third push, softer than you expected, and that softness terrifies you more than resistance would have. You move through the gap. The air outside smells like diesel and dry grass and something faintly sweet you can't identify. You keep low. You keep slow. You keep. Fast movement catches peripheral vision. Tomás told you that too, in the first week, like he was passing down knowledge he'd received from someone else. You wonder, for 1/2 second, if Tomás is alive. You don't slow down to finish the thought. The wall is closer than you remembered. You reach it. You press your back against it and feel the concrete cold through your shirt, and you breathe once, twice, and then you move along it toward the northeast corner, where the camera has a blind spot every 43 seconds. You counted. You've been counting for 3 days. 30 meters 20. The humming stops. You freeze. Silence is a physical thing. It has weight. It has texture. It sits on your chest like a hand. 10 seconds. 20. The humming starts again. You move. You clear the wall. You drop 6 feet and your ankle turns on the landing and you don't make a sound. Not because you're brave, but because your body knows that sound is death, and survival is older than pain. You run. Not fast. Fast as noise. You run the way water moves. Around things. Through gaps. Always downhill. 40 minutes later you reach a road. A truck stops. The driver is older, a farmer by the look of his hands. And he doesn't ask why you're bleeding or why your eyes look the way they do. He just says, north or south. And here is the thing no one tells you about escape. The secondary loop closes here, on the side of a dark road. Tomás had said, don't think of an exit. He wasn't warning you away from trying. He was telling you that the exit you imagine is never the one you take. You get in the truck. You say, north. You make it. That's the part people want to hear. And it's true, technically. You make it to a city. You make it to a consulate. You make it through 6 months of interviews and relocation paperwork and a new name on a document that feels like someone else's skin. But here's the answer to the question from the very beginning. Why hadn't they killed you? You find out 14 months later, through a contact you shouldn't still have. Tomás talked. He gave them everything. And the ledger you cupped, the one with the colors, the one worth 300 million, had already been cut by you. Without knowing it, the pages you thought were duplicates for filing, they were building a case. And when you ran, you didn't escape the cartel's reach. You completed their operation. You order coffee now with 2 sugars, because the version of you that existed before didn't take sugar. Small changes are how you know you're still here. Some mornings that's enough. Some mornings the cup sits on the table and you watch the steam and you think about a door clicking shut, and a man eating your leftovers, and a 19-year-old boy who knew things he shouldn't have. And you think, you never escaped. You were released.